Very short-sighted, if you ask me. Yeah, interesting, right? Let me just go over here. Mission mode part 195, I think, is what we're on with Kerbal. Do you think we should have an open competition for a better SLS upper stage? Or do you think the EU, or just do the EUS to prevent delays from tons of lawsuits? Actually, RJ, before you start, everybody's quick to judge Blue Origin, right? Blue Origin had that idea in 2017. They actually proposed because for whatever reason, they thought that the ICPS was a dumb idea, and frankly, Jim thought it was too. Blue Origin in 2017, under the Transitional Authorization Act, NASA opened up studies to look to see to give SLS a better upper stage faster in an effort to get the program going, right? Blue Origin actually picked up on one of those BAAs, and they proposed using a New Glenn upper stage for SLS. Didn't happen. Oops. Not short-sighted, blind. Yeah, Rocket Guy, like I said, I don't mean to rustle people's jimmies, and I don't mean to go against the grain. But people are very, very quick to forget. Very quick. How much would the EUS benefit from orbital refills? Pigzig, the exploration upper stage, dude, see, don't get me wrong, the J2X upper stage from Ares 5 would be better for going to the moon than the EUS would, but the EUS totally destroys Ares 5's upper stage once you get further than the moon. So EUS, if we could develop some kind of fueling architecture to get the SLS exploration upper stage refueling working, then it could be used as a Hydrolox orbital tug between the Earth and the moon. So now all SLS needs to do is launch cargo or just extra fuel. The EUS could be an absolutely disgustingly good orbital tug to push back and forth between the Earth and the moon. It would be really good. Really freaking good. Today would be 200 according to the VOD channel. Really? No way. We can't be on. No, it's got to be. I'm going to put 199 and we'll call it a day. C-Last, what's up? Okay, all right, saw that. All right, let's see. Who are all the people in your background? A few of them are unfamiliar. That's Das. He's a producer for NASA Spaceflight. That's Jim Bridenstine, the former NASA administrator. I put him up here because I like his policy. His policy running NASA is part of the reason why SLS is in the VAB being built right now. That's Gary Lai. Gary Lai is the lead engineer on New Shepard. That's Wario. This is Tori Bruno. Tori Bruno is the CEO of United Launch Alliance, so Atlas V and Delta IV. That's Peter Beck, the CEO of Rocket Lab, and that's Rocket Guy over there. And then Tori Bruno is again on the monitor with his cowboy hard hat. Yeah. Calm down, Gary. You prepared for a ridiculously high-resolution photo of the J2. Absolutely. Yeah, Gary doesn't ever shut up. He's always back there. He'll never be quiet. Did you ever look more into GP? No, Bobby, I ended up watching the Tesla thing over again last night, so I didn't get around to it. Wait, is that why Das hasn't been streaming? Precisely, CJ. He's the lead producer for NASA Spaceflight. All of their streams, all the PTZ robots that they have around Starship, all the live coverage of the launches that you get, yeah, he's the one facilitating that whole thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. No, it's a cool job. CJ, I talk to Das pretty much once a week. Yeah, almost, whenever I need to talk to him about different stuff. We still just hang out sometimes. He's busting face, though. I mean, this is why NASA Spaceflight can pop up a stream in Long Beach, California, looking at the SpaceX barge being dropped off there, and then immediately, in the same breath, switch to Boca Chica, and then switch to Fleet Cam in Florida. Das has a network. He has produced a network of PTZ cameras across the freaking entire country that he can access basically from his office. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty cool. Yeah, CJ, that's where he's been. That's why he hasn't streamed much. Mm-hmm. So was I the only one screaming at my screen during the Starbase tour about them not wearing hard hats? Talon, are you going to tell Elon Musk to wear a hard hat? I mean, I would. I don't want to get hit in the face with a beam. They'll scoop your brains out with a damn soup ladle. Tommy boy? I got cat-like speed, reflexes. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Just did the freshman move-in. Just did freshman move-in coverage on campus today. On the campus paper today. Oh, right on, man. There you go. I don't know if you saw this. Perseverance rover extracts first oxygen from red planet. Cool. That's awesome. That's really neat. Okay. All right, dudes. We're switching over to KSP. We have the Le Mans race tonight. I'm doing a 2-hour endurance race at Le Mans tonight, and that starts at 11. So let's jump into some KSP now, dude. Today we evaluated the internal configuration of Orion. Hell yeah, dude. Orion's a great capsule, guys. Dude, yeah, if you guys want to know more about, like, Constellation and the Orion capsule and what this is all supposed to do and how it's all supposed to work, I bet you I could change anybody's mind about Constellation. There's stuff that they had integrated architecture 30 years drawn up down the road, which was really good and pretty damn sustainable too. If you guys want to learn more, I could teach you guys about what Orion's supposed to do. It'll blow your mind, man. I'm telling you. Like here, I'll Rocky Guy, I'll tell them one. Orion is, and you've probably heard me say this on stream before, but I'll tell it. In Kerbal, right? If you have a space station and you have a capsule and you dock that capsule to the space station, right? If you right-click on the capsule and hit control from here, the capsule can control the entire space station, right? Pretty straightforward stuff. Orion does that in real life. Yeah. So, if you dock Orion to a much bigger vehicle, like a Martian transfer vehicle, for instance, it can control it. It becomes the bridge of a gigantic ship, and Orion can control the ship all the way to Mars. Yeah, it becomes the flight deck. It becomes the bridge of a ship. That's one of the things Orion can do. That, I'm telling you, that capsule is on another level. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's got it where it counts. You planning on more truck streams? Yeah, I switched my schedule around, Spodrum, so truck streams are kind of up in the air right now, but yeah, I missed my deadline of finishing it before the summer started, so now I just want to finish it, hopefully by the end of summer. But yeah, switching my schedule around kind of screwed with me a little bit. It's screwed. Yeah, I take Mondays off instead of Tuesdays. Like, I've been trying to just get some R&R a little bit during the summer, but I'll bring him back. I gotta finish the thing. There's not much left, dude. Okay, but why is that so complicated to do, and how does it do it? RJ, think about it like this. I have a computer that's running Windows, and I want it to control another computer that's running Linux. And then I also want it to control another computer that's running Mac OS, or whatever their operating system is called now. And then I want these computers to be able to talk with each other, and I want one computer to be able to control everything else. Long story short, Orion has standardized avionics with all the equipment Orion has a good... It has the systems on board to be able to have modular software with whatever it works with, which is, once again, that's a big deal. That's really cool. You can with Synergy. Synergy is a piece of software, and you know that every mundane task, even taking a dump in space, is 1,000 times more frigging difficult. That's a difficult task to do down here. More people know how to take a dump than make one Windows computer control a Linux computer. Think about how complicated that actually is to do in space. See what I'm talking about, man? That's one of the things that Orion can do. I mean, that thing is nuts. It's ridiculous. Tessa, what's on your mind? Wish I could stay up to take part in the race tonight, but I'm going to be banking on some sleep ahead of the actual race. Set up an IV drip with espresso. That's totally cool. That's fine. So the J2X image I made might be too big for Discord to handle, even with full nitro. Yikes. Now we are getting into interoperability and networked avionics. Yeah, networked avionics in space. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of engineering, and Rocket Guy, it's annoying when everybody says like, "Oh, Orion's just like it's just another capsule." Yeah, okay. Do you know how SpaceX plans to fuel COPVs on Mars? That's a good question, Rom. Let me see what RJ's tag is, and then I'll get to it. Let's play some KSP. So Orion can basically change the position of one of the big ISS panels if it docked to it. Sure, yeah, it's an orbital tug. It's got a service module. Yeah, absolutely, RJ. Orion could attach to Gateway and control Gateway from Orion. That's part of what Gateway is prototyping. Dude, Orion is legit. It is a legitimate capsule. It's really friggin' good. Like, it sucks that they throw the service module away, and it sucks that it's not reusable, but who cares? Orion can operate as a satellite for years well, not years. I think it's like 200 days in space by itself. No problem. Orion can hold people on board. It has a big enough environmental control and life support system to support 4 people by themselves in the capsule in space for 21 days. That's better than the space shuttle. Yeah, Orion is ridiculous, man. It's a really good capsule. Starliner and Dragon can't do that. No way. Not a chance. If I control a Linux computer from a Windows PC, I set up an SSH server and I download and use PuTTY on your Windows desktop. Yeah, okay. That's nice. I don't know what that means, W, but all right. I'm sure it's very impressive. Like, I don't know what it means, man. Better than Shuttle Space Lab with the EDO palette. Yes, Boris. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the shuttle could do 7 for 20 days though, so it's not necessarily better, but Orion is rad shielded to be able to go into deep space. That's another big one. 3 weeks with that small space. Swishio, lifeboat, dude. Lifeboat. If you're on a sinking ship out in the middle of the ocean, God forbid, and you get a lifeboat, does the lifeboat get you back to shore? No. It's just enough to keep you going until you can get rescued. Same idea. Orion's, I'm telling you guys, really good capsule. Really good. Super underrated. Okay, Brahms, what was your question? How does SpaceX plan to fuel COPVs on Mars? Okay. I'll jump into Kerbal while we're doing that. So Brahms, let's think about this for a second. How are they going to refuel COPVs? Sorry for the typo. Hey, don't worry about it, man. So let's think about it. What do they fill the COPVs with? I'm going to get the SSTO. I'm gonna get the jet truck out and we're gonna go grab it. Helium, right? Okay. Is there helium on Mars? I'll talk you through it, dude. I'm trying to talk you through it so you can understand why SpaceX is doing what they're doing. Here comes the thought experiment. Not much. Even if there was helium, could you move a helium factory to the surface? Maybe. Maybe you could put one on Starship. Maybe. But you got to remember, rockets like Falcon 9, like Atlas, they use helium because it's one and done. It's a one-use thing. Now, if I'm honest, if I'm honest, and we landed a ship on Mars that used a helium COPV for tank ullage purposes, right? I actually, getting the helium, even if you could, that would be the least of your problems. How are you going to get the other helium out of the tank? Because you have to depress the tank. Do you depress it on Mars? How are you going to clean the inside of the fuel tank? Because you have to get all the helium out of there, and then you have to fill it back up. What, do you vent the helium out? There's helium still in the tanks. You could vent it right back into a COPV, but you're going to need a pressurization system. That adds mass to the rocket. You could do that. That's possible. SpaceX came up with a much more elegant solution. Think about Elon Musk. Best part is no part. So what do you think they did with Starship? What do you think? You're not sure. They don't have COPVs on Starship. There's no COPVs. They eliminated that. That's too complicated. It's too complex to do on Mars. Even if we had a factory there that had helium, you'd need a launch pad now. How are you going to get Starship onto a launch pad on Mars? Well, you need a crane now. How are you going to get a crane out there? Remember, once Starship lands, you have to refill the helium. So you can only land one Starship. Do you send like 20 Starships, build the launch pad, and then you can send 20 back? That's not rapid reuse. SpaceX got rid of the COPVs, and they use what's called autogenous pressurization. So what does that mean? The rocket engines. Well, the rocket engines have a lot of gas coming out of it, right? That has a lot of gas. Why not use that? Well, you don't want to use the rocket's exhaust, right? The rocket's exhaust is methane and liquid oxygen. You don't want to put methane and liquid oxygen back into your methane tank, right? So Raptor has what's called an autogenous pressurization system. After the turbo pumps, there's two fuel pumps, or there's two pumps attached to a rocket engine like Raptor. There's one for the oxygen. There's an oxygen pump that flows the liquid oxygen. And then there's a liquid methane pump that flows the liquid methane into the rocket engine and makes boom out the bottom. Now, Raptor is what's called a full flow stage combustion, so it's a little different, but that's the general premise, okay? So you don't want an oxidizer fuel mixture going into your fuel tank or an oxidizer fuel mixture going into your oxidizer tank. So but Raptor, because of its said stage combustion cycle, makes gaseous methane and gaseous oxygen. That's part of the stage combustion cycle process, right? So what Raptor does is it takes some of the methane and takes some of the liquid oxygen before they mix it and put it in the engine, and has a pneumatic gas line and when I say gas, I mean like gas, like liquid solid gas. There's gas methane lines that go right back up to the top of the methane tank. And then there's an oxidizer gas line that goes right back up to the top of the oxidizer tank. Raptors actually provide the ullage gases themselves. That's called autogenous pressurization. And it isn't the first time it's been used. Space Shuttle does the same thing. The external tank is literally just a big empty aluminum, hydrogen, and oxygen tank, and that's it. All it has is the fuel line that goes to the shuttle and the oxidizer line that goes to the shuttle, and then it has two vent lines that go right back up. That's it. Simple, because you have to keep the external tank simple. Why do you have to keep it simple? It's disposable. You want to keep it as simple as possible. So they got rid of it. No COPVs on Starship because they use autogenous pressurization. They repress the tanks with gaseous methane and gaseous oxygen. Yep. Smart, right? Best part is no part. It's a really good way to do that. Now, once again, the Space Shuttle did the same thing, but the Space Shuttle did the same thing for different reasons. The Space Shuttle did that because they had to keep the external tank simple, like I said, right? They had to keep the external tank simple because it's disposable. Now, with Starship, they have to keep it simple because you don't have a helium plant on Mars. But yeah, it's a cool bit of engineering from Elon's SpaceX team, to be honest with you. Really cool stuff. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. The docking port is bent. Oh, wow, I got to it. Wow, we got lucky there. Ooh. Leaving this thing on the pad did a number on it. It's all bent out of shape. Look at this thing. Hey, Ismic, I'm doing all right. So Starship is basically The aggregate of Mars rockets. Then once we get people on Mars, we can make way better and more complex systems. Possible. Yeah. Sorry, what does COPV stand for? Composite Overwrap Pressure Vessel. Yeah, think like a scuba tank that's wrapped in carbon fiber to hold gases at extremely high pressures. 10 might need a little bit of a refurb. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bent out of shape. Yeah, leaving this thing on the pad the other day really screwed things up. Anyway, let's I'm gonna bring this back over to the pad and we'll figure out what we want to do with it in a moment. I might want to, yeah, Pigzig, I might want to redo some things on this, redo some things on the vehicle here to basically reinforce these areas so it doesn't bend as much. But if you're figuring out why I'm towing this thing off the pad, it's because this thing flew its 10th flight. 10th flight, third without being recovered. It flew 7 flights before without being recovered, and then I recovered it and I put a new one out with the same serial number. Especially, I know if you're here, you're not gonna like that. I know some people aren't a fan. I'm thinking about doing it. Another way. You know, if we absolutely have to. Maybe we should retire 10 and go with a different version. Go with a upgraded version, because this thing is really susceptible to bending on the pad. That's because the certain points on the vehicle where we have to push up on it aren't reinforced, and honestly, it's an integration thing that I probably should have thought of, but I didn't. By the way, do you know if they tried to use wooden or plastic materials on satellites before? Since fairings protect payloads, don't they? Japan tried to make a satellite out of wood, or they're working on it and they're trying to launch it right now. Do you find that certain things deform worse or less? It really depends on what you're pushing on and what it's connected to. If you retire 10, will she gain a spot in the museum? Yeah, probably. Most satellites are made out of metal, though. Lightweight metal. That's part of the reason why rocketry is so dang expensive, Hooded, because the mass constraints are so ridiculously high that you have to make stuff out of exotic metals, and that drives the price up, like aluminum, titanium, you know, all nickel, and, well, not nickel, but there's all kinds of exotic aerospace metals and stuff. Stainless, you know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Wood isn't that great in vacuum. Yeah. But we don't have enough money to put it in a museum right now. Yeah, copper, I gotta figure that one out. Aluminum lithium alloy, yeah, that's what Falcon 9 uses, Keith, that's right. What's up, man? How you doing? Nothing like a good old cast iron skillet. Dude, I had kind of an epiphany the other day, Brahms. Brimo and I were at a restaurant, right? And Brimo ordered fajitas. I'll get a 1,000 chicken fajitas, please. No, Brimo had fajitas, right? And they served the steak on a cast iron skillet. And I sat there being the huge frigging nerd that I am, and probably even a little bit of a tool. And I'm like, man, how does that thing stay sizzling for so damn long? That's cast. It's cast iron. When you cast something, you have a very dense molecular structure. That's more molecules to absorb heat. Ah, that's why it stays hot for so long. Man, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. That was one of those, like, yeah, no crap, man. Like, most small sats are aluminum 7075. Oh, there you go. What, Rocket Guy, what makes that type of metal better for satellites? Just genuine question. Or 6061. Okay. It's super light. Did you hear the SpaceX employee who passed away due to COVID Tuesday? No, Lynn Prod. That sucks, and that's very unfortunate, but also I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, at all. Good strength to weight and thermal properties.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Why am I not surprised? It has to do with finite element analysis? Please, tell me more. Yeah, right.
Discovery,
19 months from Concrete Monkey. Thanks, man. Brahms with a 6-monther. Oh, dude, that was just a 6-month. Dude, you did a 6-month sub? Holy crap, man. Thank you. Want to know the full resolution of the J2X photo? 9,000 by 10,000. Oh, you pissant. Why? Pisson. It's French. Okay. Sorry, I looked at that for a second. Let me see, Vulcan. Oh, my guy. Oh, my guy. Oh, okay. All right. I'm just gonna take that. That's going right into my I don't know. Well, you know what? We'll just put it in the SLS research folder. Why not? It might as. Oh my god! What a beast! It's so stupid. It's so stupid. We're not using this. Oh, that's really nice. That's real nice. Oh, look at the anodized. Oh, that's so nice. Look at the anodized fittings. That's so cool. Well, that's an anodized flange right there, but that's, oh, it looks aesthetic as hell. Yes, I said aesthetic. Shh. Yep, see? See the heat? See the heat? The coloring? This engine's been fired. God damn it. Yep. Oh, look at the TIG. Oh, that TIG weld is so good. Also, a really nice picture, Vulcan. Look at those TIG welds. They're freaking perfect. That's really annoying. That's really annoying. I don't like it. I don't like it. Make it stop. Oh, that's a really nice TIG weld. Hey, Jay, is a shortfall of Gravitas the new drone ship for SpaceX? Yeah, the ASDS. Mm-hmm. Dude, look at it. Anybody tell me why you'd only weld in short segments at a time with a TIG welder when you're welding aluminum? Aluminium? Anybody know? It looks like the welder stopped right there and then started going again and then stopped and then started going again. Gets too hot. You guys got it. Yeah. Aluminum absorbs heat really, really well. It's very good at conducting heat energy. When it does, it warps. That's not a good thing. You don't need your rocket nozzle to warp. That would be bad. That would create some really nice cavitation in there, even if it's a little bit out. So the guy that welded this is how I could tell it's hand welded. This was not a machine. A person did this because the segments are slightly, they're not perfect, but they're pretty damn close. This almost looks like a machine did it. But a person did this with a steady hand and feeding some with a TIG welder and feeding some rod, which is unbelievable. That is a very good weld. Aerospace spec, man. The guy that welded that probably makes easily 6 figures a year. That welding is very, 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 very well paying. Yep, gets you hot. You see, you could get. I mean, the guy linished back the weld after he cleaned it but you can tell that it was only cleaned like kind of in this area here, and that area is very uniform. See that? That means it's very uniform heating, which is cool. This is really some really. Oh, you laid 2 beads in right there for some reason. That's not as good. This is really nice. I don't know why that side's so screwed up. Look at that weld. That weld sucks. This one is freaking money. See how it looks like a bunch of dimes that are stacked on top of each other, a bunch of coins? That's what you want welds to look like. Yeah, see, that's a little booger weldy right there, but hey, whatever. You know a guy on Twitter who welds stuff for Aerojet Rocketdyne. That's cool. Yeah, you laid in double beads there for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. And yep. Found some holes in it. That's why they laid in double bead, because the weld didn't pen right there. Interesting. But then again, this is an early serial production motor, so it still looks freaking beautiful, man. So, but the other thing is that it might not matter too much. This is the regenerative. It's a regenerative cooling duct right there. It doesn't need. It's not operating at tremendously high pressure. Yeah, right, Bank? Can I swap this engine on your car? That engine's probably as heavy as your car, but yeah, see, it doesn't. It also doesn't have the nozzle extension on it. Damn, that thing is pretty. Great picture, Vulcan. Seriously, great job. Regenerative cooling. Yeah. So 619, the turbo pumps work like a turbocharger, okay? On a car, but instead of moving air, they move liquid into the engine, right? So it would be like having a fuel pump attached to the front of a turbo, right? What they do is they use turbine exhaust to cool the nozzle. Yep. Film cooling is what it's called. The Saturn V did that. The Saturn V first stages, the first stage engines, if you picture the F1s firing, you have the end of the nozzle, and then you have a column of like what looks like black soot, and then it turns to flames. Film cooling. Yeah. That's not actually regenerative cooling. It's film cooling. Film cooling would be the right way to say it. Nice craft. Thanks, Riv. Why the X in the J2X? Because it's a next generation J2 engine, T-Man. That is that's the great grandson of the Saturn V second and third stage engines. It's based off of it. So is the shuttle engine, for what it's worth. So, where did you take this? What do you mean? Oh, you're asking Vulcan, okay. Because the X makes it go faster. It's like if you put racing stripes on a car, it goes faster, obviously. Wasn't there a commercial crew offering by ATK that was basically an Ares 1 first stage with an Ariane 5 core stage on top of it as stage 2? Yeah, that was called the Liberty rocket. They tried to replace Ares 1 with that, and it got shot down. And then they tried to replace that with Omega, and that also got shot down. Because X gon' give it to you. What? Think that you could get it on your own? X gon' live it to you. Knock, knock. Open up the door. It's real. Rip, man. Rip. Why didn't the J2X or whatever make its way onto SLS? Because Constellation. Don't trust anybody who uses a first stage as a second stage. Nice, Mr. Bond. What are you looking at? Launch complex. Riv, what I do in this, I have a reusable space plane. This thing can fly all the way up into space and come all the way back down. And I also have a reusable launch complex for it. You read it wrong. Why didn't the F1X or whatever? Okay, RJ, I didn't read it wrong. The F1X doesn't exist. There's no such thing. If you're talking about an F1B, that was considered for Ares 5's side boosters, and then they decided that using shuttle boosters in a 5-segment configuration would be cheaper. However, if you want to read about that type of booster, you want to read on what's called a Pyreos booster. The Pyreos booster was their proposed solution that had twin F1Bs in the first stage. Right there. Those are F1Bs, which is an open cycle version of the F1 with an ablator nozzle to control the heat and keep the costs down. Yep. Well, you did read it wrong. You said J2. No, I assumed you were talking about the J2. Yeah, that's all. I read it right. I know what you said. I was confused if you were... It was a 50-50 shot between the F1B and the J2X, dude. And I chose the J2X, and that's not what you intended. But I can't read your intentions now, can I? It was a 50-50 shot, man. I took my shot, and I missed. But then I took a second shot, and I got it. Here, look. Isn't that pretty? See? Second shot, 2 boosters. Math. All right. What does the exterior nozzle do? That's the dump from the gas generator smoke. And that's what I was explaining to 619. That film cooling right there, the film cooling is taking the gas generator exhaust and using it to cool the nozzle. It gives you a nice film of colder gas around the nozzle. It keeps it cool. That F1B engine is open cycle. That's what it's called. It's called open cycle. The open cycle engine just dumps it overboard. So like a Merlin 1D. Merlin 1D, Falcon 9's first stage, it has a gas generator. The gas generator just dumps its exhaust overboard. It's, once again, open cycle engines. I can't remember them all and it makes me sad. Yes, you can. You just gotta believe in yourself. And you believe in yourself. Anyway. I thought I would never remember them all, but now I remember them all. Does that help? Alright, let's bring this back down. So, I'm actually wondering, after the double mission that we ran, if we have enough to get the big SSTO running. 50% of the time, I'm right every time. Doesn't even make sense. The Pyrios booster is the twin-bore in KSP. Pretty much. Twitching, yeah, pretty much, dude. Repetition. Yep. I remember when I was in kindergarten and I thought I would never know all the numbers from 1 to 100. Yeah, that's right. It's your job to remember them all, though. RJ, do you honestly think that I wouldn't remember all of them even if this was or wasn't my job? That's inconsequential. Just because it's my job doesn't mean I wouldn't know this. I really like space. A lot. Yeah. In fact, knowing all this information before I started streaming is what made me a better streamer. That's what made me stand out against everybody else. Because I know more than you. No, sorry. That sounds really conceited. No, I like knowing things. I like knowing how stuff works. I like knowing how rockets work, especially because there's nothing cooler, man. They go faster than everything else. And I've reduced my entire liking of rockets down to I like things that go fast, and nothing goes faster than a rocket. God damn caveman brain. Don't run it on margins. Have backup cache in case everything blows up. I think that's what. Well, we need to check. Let me just get the pad back into a safe condition. All right, locked. Okay. All right. Dino Soyuz scrubbed again. It's not the rocket. And Dimitri, it's funny. I didn't cover it for Space Moves, but Dimitri goes and made it a thing to say that it's not the rocket. He goes, oh yeah, we scrubbed that because the customer had something wrong with their payload. Oh, that's pretty funny, man. He goes, yeah, no, my rocket's fine. It's the customer. We're ready to go. We scrubbed it because the customer wanted it scrubbed. That's some real Chad tier stuff right there. I meant 10, but good to go. Oh, Dino. Yeah, okay. All right. So, actually, what I want to do is, well, let's go check the books here real quick, okay? So, let's see how much cash we have, and I need to see how much the pad and the crane and everything costs. I might be able to recover everything, and we might have a cushion there, just in case something goes wrong. I thought the Roadrunner from the cartoon is faster than even a rocket. Well, no, Sale, not necessarily. The Coyote strapped himself to the Acme rocket, and the Roadrunner went down the road, and the rocket went faster than the Roadrunner. He went past it and slammed into a wall, and then the Roadrunner caught him. Haven't you ever watched the Roadrunner and Coyote? What's wrong with you? That's not how that works at all. The rocket's way faster. It's too fast. That was. See, the Coyote is a very good engineer. He's a good engineer. Not bad. But, you know, his problem is, you know, engineering requires a little bit of finesse, okay? You can't just go 0 to 11. Coyote went 0 to 11 with all of his engineering. Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire! Actually, you know what? You know what's funny? The Coyote actually is a really good engineer. Think about it. In order for the Coyote to in order for the Coyote's contraptions to not work, physics needs to break. Think about that for a second. Half of the stuff that he came up with was a great idea. And then just magically when the Roadrunner shows up, physics stops existing. And the rock, which is designed like on a swing, just falls right on him. It defies the laws of gravity or something. Like, I'm pretty sure the Coyote is in a purgatory. He is in purgatory or in a simulation where somebody just keeps hacking gravity right when he tries to catch the Roadrunner every time. He's literally in purgatory. Physics stops working when the Roadrunner comes around. The Roadrunner is an anomaly. The Roadrunner is a black hole. Yep. Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire! Sorry. I mean, how else can you explain it? How else can you explain that? You know, the guy, he has like a rock, and the rock is on a swing, right? And the swing is supposed to hit the Roadrunner, right? And then the swing just stops working, and the rock just falls on him? Like, bro, come on. The Roadrunner is the Kraken. Oh. The Roadrunner is an SCP. Good reference. Good reference. I agree. Alright, so we have 541 in the bank. Almost 600 science. I actually got a lot of good science here. I moved the SSTO back. It is ready for another mission. I just got to pull the payload out. Let's go and take a look at how much the pad and everything that we have out there costs. The Roadrunner is from an alternative universe and phases in and out. So the Roadrunner has Rick's portal gun, okay? Or he's just an intergalactic anomaly. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. Okay, so let's go take a look here. See what we got. So Launchpad R42. This is the current iteration of the small SSTO pad that we have right now. How much does this thing cost? 318. Okay. Now we have to look at the crane. Did you know that the first Looney Tunes was designed to be a perfect Coyote world? Where no one hungered, where Wile E. would be happy. It was a disaster. No Coyotes would accept the program. Entire episodes were lost. Which brings you to the modern iteration of the desert that you see before you. Like the dinosaur. You had your time. The future is our lives. The future is our time. Failure to comply with this will result in a cataclysmic system crash which will kill everybody connected to the Matrix. If I was you, I would hope we don't meet again. We won't. Why is there a folder left there that says Brimo gone rogue? Brimo played Kerbal one time on stream, Smoke. Also, first Matrix Trelawney. Alright, so the crane is 127. So let's do some quackulations out here. We have 318 014 on the pad, plus 127 751. So that's 445. And we have 541 in the bank. Plus 541, 149. That gives us 986, 914. Oh, frick. And then I have a payload. I have 2 payload transfer trucks out there. Let's see what the payload transfer trucks cost. RJ, not now. We're running out of time, dude. Running out of time, my dude. Payload transfer vehicle. Those cost 40 G's a pop, and I have 2 of them out there, so plus 40,000. So that gives us 1.06 mil. It's not enough. Still not enough. And then if I recovered SN10 for refurbishment, that would give us another 100K on top of that. And we know that that gives us 1.16 million, and we know that 1.16 million is enough to make it work. But I said I wanted to make sure that we had some overhead there. Yeah, that's not ideal. What about the one on orbit? Go and get that one back? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I need about a million here. I need to have $1 million in the bank regardless of the pads. So that means we need that means we need a lot more money. So more small SSTO missions. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going with it. That thing on orbit is like a free 100K. It's a dangerous mission, bank. Time to go get the one from the Western Shores. Where is it, Wookie? Alright, let's go. Let's go take a look. So I have a rule. My rule is I cannot... If I want something recovered, it has to... Man, this thing is in good condition. It's only missing a couple of pieces. It's been sitting out here for some time, though. But it does... this is probably about, maybe 90K worth of stuff, worth of parts. The arrow shell is pretty good. Do we have... any docking ports in the payload bay? No, but we have fuel in the payload bay. Huh. How much mass is this thing? 46 tons. You could get over to the beach. We could probably put it on a barge risk-free. Yeah, but Wookie, I'd need to make a barge, and then we'd need to sail that barge all the way around. Can't we just give you the money with lunar contracts to have enough if a big SSTO explodes? Well, yeah, RJ, you could, but look, the SSTO program has missed 2 deadlines thus far. And this is more my doctrine than anything. I want to show that these SSTOs are profitable. I want to show that I can do missions with them. That was the SSTO contract. And I'm pretty sure both of them can run operational missions. But I want to show you. I want to prove that. I need to prove that the system works. And I don't want any more money from chat. Before I get paid for I don't want to use the money that I would make for operational missions for research and development. Bad idea. So... once that I prove that these SSTOs are good to go, which we're rapidly approaching that. Look at how many flights we can do with this thing. that's when I'll say, let's go back to the moon. And that's when I'll request funds for those missions. What condition is the gear in? Gear's fine. It's working. The forward docking port is still there. I don't know why I can't control this thing. I actually don't think an antenna can see it. What happened to this one? So we have 10. 10 is the one that we keep flying, Banana. This one is 8. 8 flipped out during re-entry and landed over here on the... 7? Landed here out on the beach. The name says 8, so maybe it's 8. No comms, yep. It's not in hibernate mode either, and I don't think I could switch it to hibernate mode. It's gonna run out of power, but that's no big deal. Okay. Wait, how the hell did I land this thing if there's no comms? What's the mass of this thing? 46? Okay. Okay. Alright, what about you? Which prototype is this? It landed itself almost, but it's a sat placement issue. What about you? This thing has no fuel in it. It has nothing. But this still has the older wing configuration. I don't know if we'll be stable through re-entry with this thing, even if I did refuel it. I mean, not to say that I wouldn't try. It's better than what we're doing right now. What prototype is this, though? I'm going to go and look at the serial number. Yeah, this one is 7. The one down there, I just didn't change the flag number. This is 7. 8 is down there at the desert. Okay, good to know. Do we have any more of these things lying around? Well, I think 9 is over there. You didn't. It pitched up and it landed itself. Are you sure? Yep, that's what's left of 9. Yep. I purposely crashed 9 into the water because I didn't want to strand another one out here. Kerbal Engineer wouldn't be able to fix it, man. Alright. Yeah, that's all the prototypes. This one right here. Yeah, 8.3 and 9. I could go recover this. I just got to make sure my helicopter can lift up 40 tons. And even if it can, I got to make sure it can fly around with 40 tons. Maybe just because it's designated as debris. Could have something to do with it, Wookiee, yeah. Here, let me rename it. Rename it as a probe and then switch scenes. Have you used all the payload fuel as well on number 7? 7's the one that's up in space. 8 is the one that's on the ground. 8 has fuel, but it's on the ground, and it's like 100 kilometers away from KSC. 7 is up there in a slightly decaying orbit. It's 67 by 112, which even if I'd simulated it, it would have done well, I don't know if it would have been up there for 243 days. It probably wouldn't have. But this thing has no fuel left in it. But here, Wookiee, let's see. Can I go back and... Let me switch back to it now that it's a probe and see if I can control the thing. I'd like to point out that neither of these things have docking ports. Yeah, neither of these, because they're prototypes. I didn't expect them to dock with anything. Neither of them have, Yep, it was set as debris. Neither of them have docking ports. Now, don't get me wrong, Kerbal Construction can fix that. That's not an issue. It would be one heck of a road trip out here to go and get this thing. Helicopter flight? It's possible. Any tips on doing the transfer from low curb in orbit to min-miss? Match its inclination first and then try to rendezvous. So launch into a 6-degree inclined orbit. Yeah, that would take an entire stream to do that. Don't they have ports on the tail, or do you not count those? Yeah, it can. That thing does. Yeah, I suppose I wasn't thinking about that. What I'm thinking about, Epic Space Troll, is I ain't gonna pick it up from that. You know what I mean? I have no way to pick the thing up. Like, we'd need to pick it up on the COM, which means, so even if it did have a docking port inside of the payload bay, I'd have to figure out a way. Yeah, that would be difficult. This is a prototype, Liam, that crashed here. It crash landed. You don't have the claws? Who cares if I do? Screw claws. Claws are imprecise. They're for grabbing asteroids, not spaceships. And I can Kerbal construct the docking port out here anyways. I could pick it up from the bottom. So, I mean, even if I sent a helo out here and we were able to grab, I mean, I could grab it by the back. How are we going to fly with that thing? The second I try to fly it, and even if we could pick it up, we're going to have to fly it, and it's going to just do this. And I don't know if that's a good idea. I've never tested the aeroshell flying backwards. You know, stably at least. I do have a helicopter that could pick it up. Or at least I think it can. I'm pretty sure it could. It was marginal with Dart, as long as the hinges were strong enough. That's the thing. As long as they were strong enough. We could test it. I have a heavy lift helicopter. We could do it. I'm not sure I could do it in time. Well, we might be able to. Who knows? If we could go get that, score that prototype, and bring it back and retrieve it, we could either A, refurbish it and have 2 SSTOs now, even though it's been sitting out there. It would cost a lot of money to actually refurbish it, even if I hit the recovery button. Or I could recover it and put that as a 100K towards the SSTO. 95. Design a system to fly out, attach fuel and jets to the back. Why are we using a helicopter when we can fly it like a plane? I think I found it, yeah. Yeah, Riv. It's a... yeah, bunch of different helicopter designs all combined together. Fellas, I don't know if this thing can... I think that's the old airframe design. Old airframe design? Yeah, this thing is an auto gyro, by the way. It has 2 jet engines, and basically I can at higher altitudes we could shut the helicopter blades off and turn the jet engines on, and it'll fly, and the helicopter blades act like wings. Yeah, it's called auto gyro in real life, but Kerbal doesn't understand what auto gyro is, so the wings and the blades actually just shut off, and they just kind of sit there, and we use them as we can use them as wings. Take a chopper with Kerbals to put some parts on it. It doesn't have wings, guys. It's missing its stabilizers. That's the problem. It has no stabilizer. You can't fly that thing. I know what you're saying. Well, EJ, you landed it without those. Well, the problem is that I landed it with body flaps, and the body flaps blew up when I hit the ground because I landed on a hill. So, yeah, it's missing a lot of pieces. I could go pick it up. 8 is the old panel and tank design before you redid it to get better Delta V. Yeah, so it's going to need to be refurbished anyway. But either way, free orbiter or free salvage. Legitimate salvage, cowboy. If I can get this thing, if this thing could lift it up, if the KH-3 could lift up, it was 45 tons. If it could do it, then I'd consider it. I'll be honest. All we would have to do is this. I know this thing is good for it. Give me one moment. So... Too bad you can't cut the prototype in half on site. Yeah, I mean, I could take a lot of parts off of it. We could take parts off of it with Kerbal Construct. It wouldn't be too big of an issue. So that's 36 tons right there. And then this thing... I'm just going to put this on a holder. Now, this is 36 tons, all right? If this thing can't move this at all, then, well, we got a little bit of an issue.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
We can do some testing out here, but once again, the right way to do this would be to put this off to the side and then try and hook it, which I can do. It's a little bit difficult, but we can do it. Hey, B-Soul, 14-month resub. We just got to be careful here, guys. This is tough to do, but it's possible. If we can lift this thing up and put it on top of the VAB, then we'll move to a 40-ton weight. I'm not sure if we can do this, though. It might break. So let me get some test pilots out. Let me get Macnard, who's our rookie. Give him the flight suit. Swishio the other day asked why do I have Soviet suits? I have them have Soviet suits for ground crew. Okay, and we'll fly Jeanette as well. She's the flight engineer. All right, let's see what it does. This is hard to do. It's hard to hook a docking port like that. It's 44 tons, that prototype. It's gonna be difficult, dudes. But the helicopter is a relatively low-risk solution. Not very complicated, just pick the damn thing up. And the back docking port is aligned with the center of mass. I just have to... And actually using the back docking port means I can just land the helicopter, back it up, and dock the port, which actually is not a bad way to do that. I have a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. What in the world are we testing tonight? I have a broken prototype, Sawyer, on the other side of the mountains. It's over there. See it? It's SN8. It crashed in the desert out there. 9 crashed right next to it, and 7 is still stranded up on orbit. I could go and grab these things, right? I could send the SSTO up again, and we could refuel 7 and then try to land it. No guarantees it's going to get home. But it's only 10K to work on, and then the helicopter isn't too expensive here either, so... Let's see what this does. So I'm seeing if we can go and recover these things. Alright, so collective control is on. Let's see what this does. Okay, so we know from previous experiences that when we dock, it's going to peg my throttle to 0. and it's going to try to smush the helicopter down on top of the payload. We just got to be careful that I go collective pitch up when we try to do that. So SAS engaged. Let's increase the collective. There's no helicopter blade sounds in KSP, which is a little strange, but... Now, we won't even have to do this in when we're out there. We could just land the helicopter and then hook it up. Okay, increase the rotor torque. Time to play crane game, chat. Well, that was easy. New way of delivering fuel to the pad? Oh, please. The hard part is slowing down after cruising with the weight. Yeah, you're not wrong. Seems okay. I mean, I'm not even seeing much of a huge performance impact, to be honest with you guys. This thing is working just fine. I mean, what do you think? This is 36 tons. It's 10 tons heavier than this thing. Fly it around a bit? Okay, I'll fly us out to the monolith. Let's see what it does. The trip back is going to take forever. With us towing the thing, it's going to take a while. Should be okay. The only thing I'm a little worried about is because we got to go over some hills, we might not be able to lift as much in a less dense atmosphere, which means we're just going to have to fly around. Does it have the range for this? It can auto gyro. Yeah, it should be okay. I mean, let me get some altitude if you want me to test the auto gyro working. We'll see. Here, let me up that to 50. Why is Kerbal playing through one channel? There we go. Alright, watch this. So, stop the rotor torque. Just scale the helicopter up. Okay, full power. Oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Come on, get the blades going again. That was close. Look, fellas, this thing is giving me a lot of trouble. I'm not 100% sure that the SSTO with the arrow shell isn't going to do the same thing. And we know from last time that happening right there, stretching the robotics, usually doesn't end well. I don't have any boats, though, that could go and get that thing. I don't have a barge, fellas. That's the other problem. And, guys, that'll take me a week. It'll take me a week to go and get it. The helicopter is a quick solution. Engineers adding struts. Does the SSTO float? I have no idea. Not even in another save? Dude, I don't think I have a boat that can do that. Even in any of my saves. I don't have a barge that... I never made a landing ship, Sawyer. Road trip it? It'll take hours. Oh, I was thinking an ASDS type thing. I have one in a really old save, dude, and I don't even know if that thing still works anymore. The carrier. Bro, we're trying to save money, not spend it. Does it still have landing gear? Yeah. We're rendering everything at the freaking museum right now. What about outsourcing the recovery against the mission mode rules? Alright, let's bring her down. Anything in the junkyard that could be salvaged? Not for any useful costs, Game Coder. Probably have 20k worth of stuff in there that I want to recover. Gotta be careful, you can't have this thing pendulum. I'm fine. Honestly, NASA Man, I am very, very worried about trying to pick the stupid thing up. It'll be super susceptible to side slip. It'll want to do this all day, and it'll want to twist the helicopter. See? It's going to do that. And it's going to create a compounding force. Because, remember, the side slip is no good. We should only do this with no Kerbals? Why? I think the heli would work if we fly around the mountains. It's a little dangerous, but yeah, I think it could too. Jawa stand crawler. Then disassemble it. Why don't we take a cargo plane over and disassemble it so it fits in the cargo bay? Guys, because the only reason I even wanted to work with a helicopter is because we have the helicopter already. Any other solution, I have to buy an airplane. We could just add a parts bin to the bottom of the helicopter and send out a full load of engineers and cut it apart. That's an idea. What am I going to do with the shuttle motors? I'm sorry, what's going on right now? We calculated that we still need a lot more we still need a lot more money. We need about 400k more to get the big SSDO up and operational, King. So we're talking about recovering some of the crashed small SSDO prototypes. There's one that's relatively intact over there. And we could get it. I was using this 36-ton fuel tank as a weight to see if we could it could lift it. It can lift the 36 tons no problem, so it should be able to lift the SSDO no problem as well. But like, if only you could link 4 tuk-tuks together. Keep flying 10 more missions. We could probably make more doing missions in the time it takes to get the SSTO back. Yeah, but the recovery, I've been doing a lot of missions, Pop Bear. That's the only reason I even entertained this idea, because I've been doing these missions a lot, you know? It would be nice to just change it up for a second, that's all. How did that SSTO get stuck in the desert? It destabilized during re-entry and crashed in the desert when I was testing re-entry profiles. Out of context, what is the best watching order for Star Wars? Chronologically works really well. I'll personally fund that 400k if in return you plan to flag on the moon's largest crater with my name on it. No personal funding missions, but funny. SN7 recovery would be a nice combo, but I'm interested to see the engineering challenge of grabbing 8. Yeah, that's kind of why. It's just something a little bit different. The last 3 streams have been just non-stop SSTO missions. Hey, Tack, what's going on? Yeah, that's right, Wookie. The helicopter could do it, man. Here, let's recover. Last. Okay. Take the back engines off and then docking port and fly back. Just maybe do that first. Take the back engines off. How? How am I going to do that? Check how the engines are attached. They're attached to a fairing plate, guys. I can't move those. I need like 20 Kerbals out there if we were going to try and move 4 tons of engine. And I don't think those are construction parts in the first place. You can't move the shuttle motors around. Kerbals can't lift that thing up. Can you weld the shuttle motors to a skip? Okay, no. Nah, I don't want to do that way. Well, no, I can't do that way. I don't want it. It's not even me not wanting to. There's just no way that's going to work. Yeah, French, it would be a cool mission. Tough mission to do. What's the debris out in the ocean? These are just crashed rocket parts. That's dumb. Why can't you lift any part given the required Kerbals? Lols, if you, me, and 18 other people tried to lift up a shuttle engine, could we do it and move it in any useful way? Could probably lift it up and put it right back down. Maybe. But how are we gonna get 18 people to pick up a damn shuttle motor? Just use a friggin' crane. That's the thought behind that. MGB, 35-month resub. Thanks, man. I'm doing a lot of talking today, dudes. Those Bobcat engines cost $2,000 a pop. I could just go recover some parts out of the ocean with a helicopter. That'd be kind of cool. If you think it'll work. The hardest thing would be to control it, King, when we're flying. That would be the tough part. It'll take... I could probably get it out there using the helicopter's auto gyro. I could probably get it out there in 15 minutes. It's not like the trip would take long, guys. I'm serious. I mean that. It would not take very long. Maybe use the heli to fly a jet truck over there so you can have one to drive. It's not the worst idea. I think this umbilical can do it. Can you not have 2 ropes so there's 2 docking ports so the load doesn't swing as much? Yeah, I could. Are we ever going to get SN7 down from space? That's the next mission. That would be the next mission that 10's going to fly. And we could do that mission tomorrow if this one works today, and that's 200K in the bank. Eight has the front docking port, NASA man. We went and looked at it a second ago. I know it has it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give myself some extendo fuel tanks here. So we have the umbilicals for extended range right there. You could bring a few small hinges and add struts as some guide wires. Yeah, we could. Like, okay, so how would we do it, Wookie? But see, like, I'm not sure if guide wires are what we want. Here, hang on. Let me do some research. We do have time. Let me look. So helicopter lift. How would they carry it? So like this is an MH-53 that's moving an MRAP right there. Okay, so it's one and then it splits like that. Nothing, John. Nothing bad has happened. I'm just... what I'm trying to see is if we can... the crashed prototype. that's out on the other side of Kerbin. We could go and get that for 100K. The shuttle engines and the fuel tanks are intact. It's just missing some motors and stuff. Missing some wings and stuff. We could pick it up and I could bring it back with the helicopter. The helicopter I already have. It already exists. So I can literally go and grab it for just the price of some liquid fuel. Just the price of jet fuel. The helicopter can pick it up. I'm pretty dang sure it can lift it. We're just trying to think of what would be the best way to rig it. No, Lewis, not necessarily. Not necessarily. If we attach them in the right spots, it really wouldn't be an issue. You could move it to a flat area, then Kerbals could put it in a cargo plane. I don't have a cargo plane, man. We don't own one in this save. And buying one would be the opposite of what we want to do. Are you family friendly? Yes, Spacey, I am. I am family friendly until my after hours segment starts. Usually that's at 11 p.m. or about midnight Eastern Standard Time. 90% of my streams are family friendly. Yes, absolutely. After midnight, when the kids go to sleep, that's when it's kind of more run-of-the-mill stuff, but I try never to swear during the day. This is my job, and I try to be professional as I can with it. Also, you know, I can't sit here and say I want to teach people, I want to teach people, I want to teach people, and then swear up a storm. Unless some people around have like a college professor that curses their brain out, you know, like... Grappler arm to keep it steady. The arm does... No, the arm does the opposite of that, dude. Family. Let's see. Let's see. What other helicopter lifts could we look at? There's the Mil-26 right there. What is that thing? I don't want to know. It seems like every helicopter is either just one straight line down, or it's one line down that splits. Are there any people that would tell me why that is that way? I'm sure there's a good reason. See, the Chinook even has one line going down and it splits over a couple of times. Wookie, hold off on that. Hold on a second. Somebody else told me to see the last. Jacko, what's up? A torque point? Okay. Oh, okay, Hand, I got you. It's to maintain load of the... Yeah, because if we had 2 points and we went forward, right, the payload would... Yeah, okay, alright, I got you. It's like a pendulum at the top of a skyscraper. Same kind of idea. It keeps it more or less stable. Got it. How would I split this? How would we do that correctly? Yeah, John, that's right. Nice, Epic Space Troll. That's awesome. I had a math teacher that was a nom-vet, dude. He was one of my favorite teachers. You know why he was one of my favorite teachers? Because one time, right at the beginning, when we first had his class, some kid came in with a coffee and donuts, right? And he was 5 minutes late. And teacher was teaching. He's like, "Hi, I'm teacher. Here, we're going to learn math today, etc., etc. We're going to learn it. We're going to learn it together." And he stopped. He was like at the blackboard like this. And he goes, "Oh, student, why were you late? Why were you late? Yes, I'm talking to you. Why were you late?" And the kid was like, oh, you know, I needed to get donuts, man. He goes, donuts. Okay. Can I talk to you out in the hall for a second, please? He turned around. Can I talk to you out in the hall for a second, please? The kid's like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, chill out, you know. Chill out, dude. Chill out. He goes, class, if you'll excuse me for a second. Very, very calm, very polite. Class, if you'll excuse me for a minute, I will be right back. We will continue the lesson in a couple of minutes. Goes outside, shuts the door. Why the hell were you late for my class? If you're ever late for my class again, I'm gonna freaking send you right down to the principal's office. Don't ever be late for my class ever again. You could hear it right through the door. Just screamed right in his face. The kid came back in, looked like he saw a ghost. He was like, and then he made him give him the coffee and donuts. He's like, I'll take that coffee and donuts. I'm eating it later. I'm like, oh. Yeah, he took freaking coffee and donuts and threw it in the trash for him. I'm like, this teacher is the best. No one was ever late for his class ever, and everyone got good grades because we were all scared and didn't want to get yelled at. Greg, what's going on, man? Yep, I was never late for class ever again. Nobody ever wanted that. He set the bar real high on the first class. Actually, he was a really good teacher. I got an A in that class because I was scared. I was scared to do the work, or scared to not do the work. You know? Wow! Like it was, dude. I was like 16 or something at the time. I'm like, you know, hey, otherwise, what's going on? Don't you ever be late for my class ever again! It was awesome. It made me so happy. Was his name Mr. Hand? No, right? No. Sound like a teacher I'd like. Yeah, no, he was a great teacher, John. Great teacher. That guy, dude, he was so he served in, we had a history class, a U.S. history class later, junior year. I had him my sophomore year. And then in junior year, I had him, he came in and spoke during a history class when we were talking about Vietnam. I remember, dude, I was so intrigued by it. I remember where he was stationed. He was stationed at Ben Luck in an artillery battalion in the Army. He decided to enlist because he was good at math, and when you enlist, you get to choose your where you want to go instead of being drafted and then go where you're needed, right? So he was stationed in Ben Luck, and he would provide fire support for for people that were patrolling the Mekong Delta and stuff, because Ben Luck is near Saigon. Yeah. Yep. What's up, EJ? Still need to play golf sometime. Yeah, we do, man. Yeah, we do. Yeah. And this guy was insanely good at math. He was calculating the artillery trajectories without a calculator. And he proved it by showing it we didn't have calc. I didn't take calc in high school. I could have, but we had something called discrete, and I think it was called discrete or something. And I remember one time, I don't know if it was in discrete or trig or what. No, trig. It had to have been trig. Because he was talking. He taught us how to calculate artillery firing. Because he knew all the boys would like that. So all the girls were like, "Man, I use this." All the guys are like, "Yes." It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. Really good time. And he's like, "This is how you calculate the shell. Shell goes this far. You have to take into account windage, gravitational acceleration, cosine losses." I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, he was like, yeah, they kept me away from the front lines because I could calculate the artillery on the fly. And I'm like, you're the frigging man. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's why it was in Ben Luck. And if you go look at where Ben Luck is, it's not near the DMZ or anything like that. It's in the Mekong Delta. Yeah, John, he's a hell of a teacher. I think he retired a couple of years ago. He's a great teacher, man. Great teacher. No one was ever late for his class, ever. It's awesome. Such a good teacher. I learned so much in that class. Just straight up yelled in people's faces. And that, dude, other kids were late for, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I said nobody was ever late for his class ever again. That's not exactly true. Sometimes kids were late and he would yell at them. Yeah, he's a great guy, John. So he's from, his family, he is from the same town that I'm from. So we're both townies. So my mom knows him. I think my mom went to high school with him or something. So, yeah, I haven't talked to him in a little while. But yeah, pretty cool. If you ever run into him, make sure you let him know what he did for you. Yep. Absolutely, John. Oh, yeah. Dude, there were good teachers, man. There were teachers that I didn't like, just like every other thing. But there were teachers that I did like. My auto teacher knew my dad, man. Strangest freaking thing. My automotive teacher, I wouldn't have gotten through school without him. And I told him that too. Because he knew my dad and he went to high school. He went to high school with my dad and my aunt, right? In Quincy. Because my dad ain't from Newton, he's from Quincy. So that's south of Boston, right? And just by random chance, the auto teacher at the school that I had just happened, it was him. So when first day of parent-teacher day went through, my dad's like, "Hey, I know you." So, when my dad's grandmother passed, he showed up at the funeral. This was a long time ago. This was like in 2011. Yeah, he showed up. That meant a lot. That was really cool. Yeah. Wonder how he's doing. I hope he's doing all right. I'll go see if I can drop him a line now that I'm thinking about it. That's awesome, Vanguard. I met a guy in the gym today who did 4 years in the Navy as a plane mechanic and 27 years in the police force. And yeah, man. But yeah, there you go, Troll. All right, so let's get back to helicopter rigging, dudes. Yeah, okay, so we need a singular point with multiple well, that's something you don't see every day. Is that thing carrying an UAZ? No, that's not an UAZ. I was gonna say, Okay. Yeah, it's a great freaking teacher, man. Okay. That's something you don't see every day. Huh. Burb. That's basically what we have to do. We're basically going to be doing something like this. So that type of rigging seems to be the best right there. Okay, so let's think. So Wookie, you said a strut, a central strut. So I might need to do some modifications to the chain here. How am I going to do this? We could do the pendants like we did with the crane on Big Chungus. Those worked. Those held up really well, actually. Nice, Thomas. That's cool. Make a revision 2 save. That's cool, Unprod. Yeah. We could use the pendants. That would work. So, all right, how would we attach it, though? It has no engines. It's the hulk of a plane drifting. All right. All right, let's bring one of the prototypes in here. We got about an hour to implement this. So I should have an exact copy of the prototype that's out there. I think it's prototype 14. And I loaded it by accident. All right, that is the prototype. So here, prototype crash rig. Model of the downed SN8 prototype for recovery testing. Okay, LV5 prototype crash rig. Let's take the jet truck off, right? So how do we have this set up? It doesn't have that. It doesn't have those. That's pretty much it. That's all that it's missing. It should have the fuel tank in there, just like that. Yep, that's full. We'll use a practice rig right now. So, our center of mass is right there. Okay? It's pretty much right dead center in the payload bay. And the helicopter needs to lift on the center of mass. Let me just make sure that this thing doesn't have any fuel in it. Checking all the fuel tanks. Okay, no fuel. What about in here? Nope. Nope. Okay, so we have a slightly offset center of mass. It's offset because we don't have any wings or body flaps, because that's all broken. There's the COM indicator. Okay, so it does have a full payload. It does have full payload fuel in it, John. That's the thing. So if we get Kerbal construction out here and we get a Kerbal to attach something to the payload is attached to here, and that's attached to the structural fairing. So, okay. And if I close the payload bay, we still have that docking port. But that's not necessarily what we want, though, right? We'd ideally want to triangulate it. That's what it looks like with the plane. It looks like it's triangulating it around its center of mass. The center of mass on the plane is most likely right here. That's why there's two straps there and one strap there. Build the harness on 8 with the engineers, then attach the umbilical to a single point. Okay. Give me 1 second. I need a point of reference here. So get rid of that for a moment. And let's just lock that in pretty much right there. And then give me one of these, right? How am I going to do that? Mr. Dufresne, if you please, how are we going to do that? This is before I put all the flags in. We can get at the fuel tanks there. I have an idea for you drawn out in paint. Riv, I think I got it. I think. I understand what you guys are saying. Lifting it by the engines, or if I can get something on the back fairing plate, would probably be good. I'm wondering, can I... Oh, you can. You can attach to that. All right, now we just got to figure out... I can attach, and then the Kerbals can move the docking ports into position. I just got to figure out what's a good spot to catch it from. Use 4 points in a cross. Okay? I would prefer 3 because of this thing's shape, Chief. With 2 back here and 1 up front, it'll make it so it'll always want to fly nose first. That should fix our side slip problems, you know? Alright, here. We can use Kerbal Construction. We can move the docking port up here. More or less, right there. Those are attached to the engines, right? And those would be our secondaries. Okay, so actually take them out of symmetry. They will not be in symmetry. And then I can take another docking port with a Kerbal and we could just attach it right there. Okay, now I need to make rigging for this thing. All right, so save this. And then let's go back into the helicopter file. And then we'll load again, and I'll merge the other file in here. So we got to figure out, let's just plan the mission, that's all. We got to place 3 docking ports down, not that big of a deal. This is not something that I usually do with the recovery missions. What usually happens is, I go out there and I say, I'm going to attach to this, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen. But if we do this test here, we should be able to get it right. How can you guarantee that the docking ports remain perfectly aligned as they are in the VAB? Well, Rocket Guy, if I do pendants with the hinges and they're not they're kind of free floating, they'll work like rope. Basically, they'll work like strings. So the docking ports, they don't necessarily need to be perfect. It's just good enough. So I need to design the rigging for this thing. Get that off of there and go here like this. Kerbals had helicopters, long time. Rocket Guy, do you remember when I built cranes, dude? Remember when I built the crane and I had struts connecting sets of hinges together to form the pendants on the crane? Literally that. I'll make chains of hinges with struts connecting them so they'll work like hinges, or like cable. It'll work like steel cable. Why not use the tri-mount? Heavy. I've been hiding under a rock. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Let me move the strut back here. Really, Tron? Oh, right on, dude. Heck yeah. How, Starbase? That editor is addicting, man.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Alright, so let's get this all lined up here. Get this lined up on the center of mass for the most part. And go. Rocket Guy, it doesn't really matter. It's just where I attach this. As long as they're close enough, it should be fine. And not should be. It'll be alright. Hey, Sim. Hope you've been well. Love the helo. Right on. Thanks, man. I'm great. How are you? Okay, so you know what? Just detach this for a moment and get rid of that. And then right here is, I think, what we should do.
Go at throttle up.
Do we need more than a single docking port? Can we not build it right as the Kerbal construction? It'd be nice to have some kind of hard point to locate stuff, Wook. But no, the truth of the matter is, no, I don't. Oh, NASA man, the Starbase editor is fun. It's pretty cool. It would be like, you know, Kerbal is a good enough editor to demonstrate like real life space concepts. Starbase is a good enough editor to demonstrate expanse style space concepts, which is really freaking cool. It's fun to do some sci-fi stuff from time to time. Yeah, Wookie, you're right. We can. Yeah. Okay. So. Here, let's do this. We're gonna need to have an operation where all right. Give me a second. Somebody suggested a bicoupler. That's not a bad idea, but I need to basically make the entire rigging. Can the payload fuel be used to activate the SSTO RCS for control and stability? Yeah, pretty much. The tricoupler is not what I'm looking for, guys. Not really, Lewis, no. Wookiee's right, a singular docking port would probably be, for the most part, what I want. So now what we need to do is something like this. Sorry, I have Ugly Kid Joe stuck in my head. It's a good song. And I hate everything about you. Nah, Woogie, I like your way better. Kerbals will be able to do that a lot easier. So basically what I'll do is I gotta find a way to get the helicopter to, we gotta land the helicopter first, and then if I can land it in a way that I could use this as a robotic arm and we can attach there. I'm gonna need more slack. We need more slack. Man. Yeah, this is going to be some complicated rigging. We don't necessarily need those there, the docking ports. Alright, that'll work. So now what we need is a set of struts that go like this. Right? And then take this, get rid of that, go over here like this. And then I need basically same exact thing. That's triangulated for the most part. And then why not attach directly to the pad hold down point? Should the center of mass be aligned and it negates the aerodynamics? Well, Rocket Guy, what I was thinking is, yeah, we could attach right to the back, dude, but then the helicopter is pulling the SSTO backwards. Do we want to do that? I mean, I could, and there's nothing saying I can't. That was my first idea. In fact, I could test that right now if you want. We could test it. I mean, Wookie, I like your idea. We could straight up do that. And just pull the sucker like that. Well, we're gonna need more slack than that, huh? What are you up to now? I am seeing... We have a crash prototype that's about 100 kilometers away from KSC. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. And I'm wondering if we could go and grab the thing. Yeah, French, I know what you were saying. Rocket Guy, the thing is, though, when we're pulling the helicopter, right, what the heck is that thing gonna do? Well, I suppose that... Actually, it should auto-stabilize. Shouldn't the side slip kind of aerodynamically make it so... The sides... Yeah, it kind of wants to fly backwards, huh? And it doesn't have the stabilizer wings on it. Where's my center of lift here? I mean, because it'll be doing this. You know what? This is simple enough right here in this configuration. It's simple enough to warrant a test flight out there. Excited for Le Mans? Yeah, of course, dude. So let's at least fly out there with the helo and see if we can figure it out. The helicopter goes pretty dang fast, so I'm not worried too much about fuel, at least this time around. We'll get out there and we'll see where we can go. So Macnard and we had Jeanette. Jeanette and Siyuki and Tedley just came back down, but yeah, okay, we'll have them do ground ops. Actually, give me Jando. Siyuki and Jeanette just came back. We need to give them a rest. Alright, so if that goes south, what I'll do is we'll dump the flags. We don't need those. So we have 2 extra docking ports in there. And I'll load us down with some struts, just in case. If we need to stabilize the payload somehow, we can load us down with... We can load these boxes down with struts and it'll be alright. Cool. Will it explode on landing if you hit the fairing, though? Well, if I bring it down gently, it should be fine. I'm not just gonna drop it, you know? Bring a ladder or 2. It helps with Kerbal construction. Okay. All right. Let's go for a little inspection flight. Let's see what we got. So, what I'm guessing is going to happen is we're going to I'll bet you I can dock to it just fine. I'll bet you I can pick it up just fine. I'm worried that this thing is going to do what Dart did. I remember this helicopter used to have a small hinge thing, and when the hinges were stretching like what we saw with the 36-ton tank, it kind of did this. If it starts doing that, I'm just going to set it down, and then we'll just return to base. Cletus is the man. Hell yeah, brother. That's right, man. That's why I bought his hat. Heck, I wouldn't just put anybody's hat up here, you know what I'm saying? It's usually I have a NASA hat on. But I have a NASA shirt today, so we'll, you know, Florida launching and Florida man. Right next to each other. You get rockets and Cletus. All at the same time. All right. Put on your helmets, dudes. Let's go. Down now, bow now, bow now, bow now. I don't want to get sued. Down now, bow now. That adapter looks phallic. Riv, I can't do anything in this game without someone saying something looks like a dick. What the heck? It's some weird fixation that chat has with saying things that have to do with aerospace engineering look like dicks. Jeff Bezos launches into a rocket. Hey, it looks like a dick. I show footage of the space shuttle launch. Hey, it looks like a pee-pee. I'm like, the space shuttle that has wings. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. There we go. We need some helicopter noise. That looks like a giant Johnson. Yes, sir. Get on the horn to British intelligence and let them know about this. Okay. Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, the red, white, and blue. So this thing is an auto gyro, guys. Check this out. What I can do with it, I can shut my rotor torque off completely. And in real life, retreating blade stall would keep these things spinning. But now my jet engines are making this thing work. And my helicopter blades are just working like wings. That's it. Because I have two blades that spin in opposite directions over each other, they both generate the same amount of lift. So yeah, just basically works like wings. So we're auto-gyroing right now, but Kerbal doesn't understand how that works, so it doesn't spin the blades. Maybe likes. I mean, present company. So the result is that this helicopter can basically cruise. It's pretty fast, man. We're trying to make our way over there. So we're at 835, or no, 76,950 west, 8835.35. So we're 12 nautical miles out. No, that doesn't make any sense. No, it's got to be more than that. Wait, okay, squids, help me out. It's not the degrees. You don't use degrees for nautical miles. It's minutes, isn't it? Or is it seconds? I forget. For the love of God, can you auto-strut the swing arm? You guys are... Alright. No, not really. It's just kind of stuck there. It's an auto-gyro. The U.S. is working on helicopters like this. X, if you want to see a kind of a real-life equivalent, the SB-1 Defiant is the same idea. SB-1, Sierra Bravo 1. Kerbal doesn't make the Kerbal doesn't auto-gyro very well. It doesn't demonstrate auto-gyro very well. But my helicopter blades are generating lift. They should be spinning. Kerbal doesn't model the simulation correctly. Now the helicopter sounds don't fit. Oh, okay. What is the advantage of using this over fixed wings? The vertical takeoff? Yeah. Don't need a runway for this. Do they have enough collective pitch to actually spin? Sure. If I increase collective, yeah, it'll spin just fine. Not much, though. Just pretend that it's synced with the frame rate. Those should be spinning like crazy. Essentially made of VTOL. I don't know, Jim. We gotta watch our fuel consumption. We're sipping fuel right now, which is good. And I do have drop tanks just in case. Oh, crap. Kerbin, the Moon, Kerbal, and Minmus are almost all aligned right now. That is either a really good sign or a really bad one. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how that goes. Oh, man, this could end poorly. This is why this is just a reconnaissance flight. If I'm confident enough in my ability to lift this thing and bring it back, I'll do it. But only if I'm confident enough. If not, I'll just leave the helicopter there and we'll fly it back tomorrow.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Eclipse hype, S-Man, 47-month resub. I'm not superstitious, but I'm just a little stitious. Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky. Nice reference. I don't think so, Wookie. I'm not sure. You ever made a tilt rotor? I have, Ryan, and it is extremely difficult. Yeah, I have. I could probably make a better one nowadays, but gosh dang is that tough. Really, really, really hard to do. third of the way there. Challenge accepted. I'll do it, no problem. Yeah, alright, have fun. The 747 dual-engine tilt VTOL. That's a cool idea. A rocket guy could work, except you'd probably need a flame trench. You'd probably need a flame trench with that thing. Having two GNXs point at the ground would probably not end well. If this flight doesn't work, we should try to fly that solar eclipse path that Alaska Air Flight 870 did. I don't know, maybe. Tilt rotors are easy peasy since the robotics DLC. You still have sunglasses, yes. Tilt rotors are easy peasy since the robotics DLC. Alright, man. Have at it. Shit. Yep. Have fun with that. Okay, we have the ship on our scopes, 100 kilometers out. Yeah, so actually, it's exactly 150 from KSC. Nice. My pick, this is a cool helicopter, man. Like I said, there is a real life equivalent. The SB1 Defiant is the same thing, only they have a prop engine out back instead of jet engines pushing the thing. But the Defiant has the potential to do, well, that picture didn't age well. The Defiant has the same potential to do exactly what I'm talking about with a helicopter. It's basically solving all the complexity problems from the V-22. That's what Sikorsky's working on right now. So why aren't the repellers spinning? Ryan, it's because Kerbal's having some trouble understanding retreating blade stall here. The plain English way of saying that, dude, is that Kerbal just doesn't understand what real aerodynamics should be doing. If these jet engines are pushing it, these things should pinwheel. They should be spinning. There are real aircraft that do this. It's called an auto gyro. The SB1 has basically a clutch. It has a clutch that can engage these or engage that, and it can shut either one of them off. So it could just use the propeller and around like an airplane with a backwards facing propeller engine, or it could disengage the clutch from here and engage the clutch on the blades and have contra-rotating blades to spin it to helicopter it. It can fly like an airplane, and it uses the blades as wings. That's why the blades look the way that they do. They kind of look like a plane wing and a helicopter blade, weird hybrid thingamajigger. It's a really, really, really cool design. Really smart. It can basically do exactly what I'm doing, only it would look like this. When it was flying. But the blades wouldn't be powered. They wouldn't be powered at all. They would just be spinning. The oncoming air would just make it spin, like a pinwheel. But yeah, it has a clutch to be able to engage stuff. Yeah. I stumbled upon this right here by accident when I was trying to make an SB1. I tried to make an SB1 in KSP one time. And it kind of worked. And then mine had a propeller on the back, and I was like, screw that, it'd be better with jet engines. And then I know that this thing that I made, I put jet engines on it as an APU, so it could generate power if it needed to on the ground without starting up the blades. And then I turned them on one day and I shut the blades off, and it did this. Right now my helicopter blades are acting like wings. So this is flying in a very similar manner to like a C-17 with the wings up on the top. So the blades keep spinning from the oncoming air, and it keeps its altitude. You gotta catch. Yeah, that's it, dude. It's called auto gyroing. It's really smart. So, like, check this out. Here, let me just make sure we're still flying in the right direction. Hang on. Yep. Halfway there. Don't say anything. So an auto gyro, take a look at this thing. An auto gyro has a plane engine with a backwards facing propeller. And look at the top blade. The top blade doesn't have any drive shaft. It just has a collective control. So the top blade can do that, and that's it. Or this. And what happens is, when this thing starts going down the runway, this thing starts pinwheeling. The oncoming air starts pushing this and starts spinning it really fast, enough to where it can helicopter for you. Yeah, auto gyros. Really cool, actually. Really cool idea. The SB-1 does that, only it takes it to the next level and powers the blade. So it can be... There was a fly, I think. It looked like a fruit fly or something. So it can be a helicopter or it can be an airplane, and then it can use the blades as wings, which is really cool. I still think a V-22 is kind of cooler than that, but that is a lot simpler. Banan. I don't think we should try to do... I don't think we should try to do this with the thing hanging off the back. Yeah, the MV-22 with the folding wings. Man, that thing is cool. What they need to do is build a V-22 that uses turbofans. That'd be really hard to do, Hellfish. It'd be difficult, man. You would need to be able to change the variable pitch. You would need to have a turbofan, and the bypass turbofan blades would need to be able to be a helicopter. That's what makes making a V-22 or making any jet VTOL extremely difficult. Because with the helicopter blades, right? With a helicopter, if anybody's a helicopter pilot here and knows a little bit about them, you basically start the engine, and the engine has a throttle setting at like 90%, and you just leave it there. And then you just use the collective, the variable blade pitch, to be able to go up and down or fly around or whatever. You have an RPM trim control, or a blade RPM trim control that's tied to your throttle, and it's a fine control for your throttle. So you can trim it out on the collective, right? If you need more power, like if you're lifting something. Bypass turbofans don't have that. You have to throttle the engine to get it to generate different amounts of thrust, right? With a helicopter, you just increase collective and you go right up in the air. So you could use a turbofan, but the turbofan blades would have to be able to do this. They would have to be able to have collective pitch, and then if you had two of them, they would have to be able to have a local cyclic control that could get the thing to do this. Very, very, very complicated. I know a lot about that, guys. I went on a deep dive into helicopters because before they put helicopter blades in, I tried to challenge myself in KSP and make a helicopter and a swash plate out of Kraken Tech parts, and I could almost get it, but yeah, I went on a huge helicopter nosedive. My prototypes mostly nosedived into the ground. That taught me a lot about gearboxes, helicopter gearboxes, helicopter rotors, blade torque, retreating blade stall, collective, cyclic. Yeah, I know helicopters very well. Are you doubting my skills to make a tilt rotor in KSP? Yes. What are the advantages of this over regular helicopters and VTOLs? Complexity, Theo. Complexity. This is way simpler. Way simpler. V-22s are insanely complicated. They are very complicated. There's a guy that watches the stream that was a V-22 mechanic, and it is ridiculously complicated. So this conversation reminds me of the Whispercraft from the 6 Day movie. It goes from helicopter to jet. Yeah, see, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but you need something to counterbalance that thing. Do you remember who pulled it off? I do, actually, Jockey. Yes, I do. Raid pulled it off. Raid made a swashblade. Raid 16. I don't know if he's here. He's probably not. Swashblades are dope, dude. My pick, I almost made one. There are viewers that made a Kraken Tech swashblade and were flying helicopters around. Oh yeah. Me, I made a jet engine VTOL, and I would use nowadays you could do it in KSP using differential thrust, but the problem is that the throttle response on a jet engine sucks because you have turbo lag. You have turbo lag from jet engines. It takes a second. If you've ever taken off on a plane, they peg the throttle and the engines go zzz. It takes a second to spool. That really sucks if you're trying to make something VTOL, because the second you move the throttle down to try and lower yourself, the jet engine spool down and you crash into the ground. That's the problem that the Harrier has. And before you say, what do you mean the problem that the Harrier has? Watch a Harrier landing next time. Watch the suspension on the Harrier. The suspension on the Harrier is built for off-roading because the British engineers anticipated that the thing would just pancake itself onto the deck of a carrier. Yeah, exactly, Tuning. You got it, man. All right, 15 kilometers out. My pick, we need the sound. The seat is also on springs like a semi. You got it, Jim. Yeah, no, they knew that thing was going to slam into the deck because they couldn't get the throttle response from that big bypass turbo fan that's in there, right? What's he picking up? One of my old crashed prototypes, Whooshing? What about using thrust vectoring to control the throttle for faster response? How are you going to do that with two engines? I mean, you could use thrust vectoring, but that still doesn't solve your throttle problem, so now you have control. So now your thing will be able to do this, right? You can't pitch forward. If you have a VTOL, right, and your VTOL is facing forward, you have two engines facing down, and they do this, all that's going to do is make you go up. It's not going to make you go forward because your engines are pointing through your center of mass already. That doesn't do anything. Believe me, I know. So that means the thing won't be able to do this. It could only yaw, and then it could only roll just a little bit. You're missing one axis. This is why VTOLs are harder to make than you think. Come on, my pick. Sikorsky was Russian. You could figure this out. It's in your blood. Take both engines and point them out to the side. Net thrust going straight down goes... Okay. All right, Nighthound. Try it in KSP, dude. I'm serious. Try it in KSP. See what happens. I am playing stock helicopter sounds in the background. Yes. Yep. You have to build a VTOL like a V-22. Because I know you'll try to come up with some bullcrap technicality. Build something like the V-22. Try it. See what happens. Alright, we're coming in. Bro, Sikorsky didn't have a one-way parent-child tree like in Kerbal. It's hard when you can't make closed loops. Alright. Is it a dart? No. Swishio, this is just a test mission. It's an attempt, dude. If I don't think I can do this, I'm not going to. The question is, how are you going to do this, science? Alright. We're not really on flat ground, and that could be an issue, but it's alright. Why are you yawing to the right? Stop that. No, no brakes on the rotors. That was strange. It really shouldn't have done that. That was close. I don't know how we're gonna get at it. I don't know how we're gonna get at that back port. Okay. Let's bring her up off the ground just a little bit. Become friends. Okay. Take off. We gotta get up off the ground. We're gonna have to get at it from the side, from a different direction. Just gotta be careful not to force it into the ground here. like that, or else we'll lose the blades. Go slow, take your time. Take your time. My pick. Calm down. We'll be alright. No, the landing gear didn't break, X. I just set it down on its landing gear so it wouldn't move around when I crashed it. I could deploy the landing gear on it right now, but it'd hit the blades. Yeah, the heli sound's a background track, dude. I can shut it off, but I thought it'd be cooler. For, you know, from my immersion. From immersion. You'll have to go from the top. Mohan, I was trying to attach it by its hold down point. If I can attach it if I can attach to that, dude, that's structural. I know I can pick it up because that's how it sits on the launch pad, you know? Alright, here, shut that off for a second.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
So, I'm just gonna get some rotor brake here. I'm gonna stop spinning the blades, and we'll use the jet engines to taxi into the right position. I'm trying to recover a prototype for some extra cash. Stu Dog, 46-month resub. Alright, give me 200% rotor brake. I need these to stop, like, now. Yeah, Fen, of course. I have struts and I have docking ports, just in case I need to do that. Absolutely. Okay. I love it. We have thrust reversers. Dude, it freaking works. This is a great little plane. No, the landing gear are there. It's just easier to get at the docking port if the SSTO's landing gear is down. This is fine. Why aren't these blades slowing down, man? That's what's freaking me out right there. The blades are so close to the vertical stabs. It's really, really... Yay, okay. All right. Of course that happens. We should probably slow down the traverse rates here. Stop, the freaking blades are fine is the end of that sentence. Hey, Blue, what's going on? Hey, Aardvark. Thanks, man. Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. There's a bunch of guys down here turning blue. We're breathing again. Rough night at work. Glad to see you doing crazy stuff on stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate the tip. Come on, baby. We just got to make sure we don't really... You don't want to snap dock this too much. It's close. Once again, this is just a test. I'm going to try to lift it. If it doesn't want to lift, then I'm not doing this. Are we sliding? Nope, we're not sliding. Try and swish. So this one, set that to like no power. Oh man, that is so close. Come on, baby. Really? Damn it! Come on, you! No, the docking ports are magnetized, dudes. That's doing what we want. It's just, I just barely have... Oh. Okay. Alright, just do a little bit of this. Increase that just a little bit. And then just take that, do that a little bit. Come on. Got it. Frick. We lost all the forward tanks, the rude part. Expensive bits are still okay. I just made a V-22 replica and it works perfectly. No, I'll bet you money it doesn't. You think it works perfectly. It definitely doesn't. You most likely didn't mimic the system good enough. I can guarantee you that, because you know why? And this is why I was so sure of myself. Because there's a cyclic control problem with when you're trying to use two cyclics that aren't completely lined up with the center of mass. I know for a fact whatever you made isn't like the V-22. Because Kerbal has a cyclic control problem. if you want double cyclics to work, so you need a cyclic on this blade and on this blade, if they're not completely over the center of mass, they're not going to work correctly. You need a cal controller to make the cyclic control work, to mimic cyclic control. So your thing is probably working kind of like the, exactly like it, but it's not working exactly like it. You made something similar. You didn't make an exact copy. Because there's an engine limitation there, and you'd need to use a cal controller to get differential collective and differential cyclics to work in KSP correctly. Especially if you're using regular helicopter blades. So, let's see how much of this is broken. I expected that. Yep. Didn't expect that part. And hey, the shuttle engines are still there. Well, I know we can lift this now, so let's do it. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted. Snap docking killed me, dudes. There's nothing I could have done. And now we die. I didn't tension the cables correctly, dudes. Sorry. Frick. The blades are still okay, but we ain't gonna get anywhere without the control surfaces, man. You gotta tension this thing first, or else it's not gonna work. Nope, something's very wrong with the helicopter. Something's wrong. It was yawing to the right. It did that 2 times in a row. Oh well, dudes. Well, now we gotta go out and get them, but that's okay. No, we're not gonna lose 2 Kerbals, King. They're inside of a box of They're inside of an armored box. That's why this mission is relatively low risk. Even if I crash the helicopter and the SSTO, it still doesn't matter. Annoying is another thing that I could use to describe this, but it's alright. The helicopter had some weird differential control, and I'm not exactly sure why it happened. When I took off, it just yawed to the right, and then I took it off again a second time after we crashed it, and it did the same thing, and it was doing that before. I don't know why that happened. I should have probably checked, but it's alright. I mean, it's not. It sucks, because now they're stranded out there, but hey, they have enough time. Why did the SSDO explode when you dock? Snap dock. Snap dock. That's all. It snap docked it. Same thing as the pads, Ryan. There's nothing I could have done. There's just nothing I could do. That was a mission risk. But hey, it is what it is. I lost about 50K when it exploded, and then another 40 from the stupid helicopter, but it's okay. I can send out another one and we can go fix it, but question mark. Let me look. Yeah, you're gonna have cyclic control problems with that, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You're gonna have control issues. There's a dead zone in the controls because of how the thing is coded. It's tricky to fly, but it works perfectly normal. So you're saying it doesn't work perfectly normal, but it works perfectly normal. Good to know. Dude, I'm telling you, like, well, I don't know why you're not listening to me, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not like I have, like, 10,000 hours in this game or something, right? Like, what do I know? Well, I don't know what we have here. I mean, that sucks, dude. It sucks that we snap docked it. I probably should have gone at it from the top and had its landing gear down to have the landing gear absorb a Kraken strike, but that's all right, I suppose. I'll just take that. Thank you very much. It's more like 15. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, it's all right. Quali is live. Cool. I might be able to get some Kerbals out here with a truck and whatever and get this all working correctly. Fold that up. Yep. I'm trying to see what parts survived. The payload bay is okay. What's in there? Anything? Oh, we have a Cal controller in there. I mean, guys, I could probably... Yeah, we can... Man, out of all the freaking parts, the stupid shuttle engines didn't break off. That's so annoying. Most of these are construction parts, though. I'm looking around to see what isn't. That tank isn't a construction part. I don't know. I don't think the wings are. Those wings are. So I can collect all this. We can collect all this and put it in containers. Make it actually makes it a little bit easier. But we did lose some fuel tanks, which does suck. But all the expensive bits are still here. The shuttle engines are the most expensive part. How much was the helicopter? 30K. 40K with a full tank of gas, but it's all right. We can take the junk helicopter back too. Yeah, it snap docked, guys. There's nothing I could have done. That was a risk. But once again, I knew it wasn't a big risk because the Kerbals are inside of an armored box. There's no way that I mean, this helicopter literally can hit the ground going 40, 50 meters a second, and these guys will survive. I've done it before in engineering mode. And this KH-3 is from engineering mode. That's where the helo is from. I just wish those things had broken. It would have been nice. What's still attached and what isn't? That's the question. Yep, okay. That sucks. It's very annoying. If you had quick save before docking and reverted, would the same thing be guaranteed to happen? Yeah, it's a snap dock. What I should have done... What I should have done is check vessel status. That was set as a... I set it as a probe, and it docked to a ship. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. It oriented to the helicopter's docking port and slammed the front of the SSTO into the ground. Yeah. Good old docking vessel hierarchy comes to screw me again. Yeah, I should have anticipated that. I should have anticipated we should have just picked it up from the top. It would have been easier. Oh, I want another shot at this, man. That's so annoying. I want another shot. I can do it. Urgh. I should have tested it back at KSC. No. Kerbals are fine. Low risk mission, to be honest, 2020. You could reload and pretend it was a dream. Nah, it's against the rules. No quick saves. See? No load button, no revert. That blows. Yeah, funny man, we had a little bit of a snafu during recovery, but it's okay. We'll have to salvage all this stuff for parts. 7 on orbit, it was always the better bet. I mean, you know, it's pretty obvious in hindsight now, though. I mean, like, yeah. Hey. I thought these things being weebly wobbly would be right, but yeah, I don't know. We should have picked it up from the top. That would have been... That sucks. That's really annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did that wrong. Whatever. I can get the helicopter and the Kerbals back. We'll send out another one. But we're gonna have to do that tomorrow. Yeah, no, I already said that the engine survived, so it's not the worst thing to happen. I'm just gonna undo this thing right now, just make sure it's not clipping into anything. And I could salvage most of these parts, so it's not really that big of a deal. Man, I'm bumming. This could have been awesome. But see, the helicopter had some yaw problem. Did I have like the rotor brakes set or something? No, I'm pretty sure I disabled those. Strange. Strange. Yeah, it was the eclipse. See? Yeah, it was a bad omen. Okay, alright. You know what? Your helicopter privileges have been revoked. Jeez. It's like, I wanted to do it. Yeah, that can just stay right there. What is this vehicle set as? Yeah, it's set as ship. Damn it. That sucks. Alright, well, set up camp for the night, dudes. Hey, check this out when you get a chance. I gotta go, Bandit. I gotta do other things right now. Yeah, it's the damn sand.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Dread. Where are my engines, Jeb? Yeah. Well, they're right there. The helicopter fuselage would probably be a better thing. It does look kind of cool crashed like that, though. It looks like a crashed helicopter. They're there. Sometimes there. Some parts there and a few parts over there. Yeah. Hey, see? We can already recover some pieces. They can radio home. It's fine. And then... Oh, no, I can't do that. Damn. Do we need to send another helo? I'm going to have to, Jason. I really don't have a choice. I'll send another one, and we'll pick up the junk helicopter chassis, and then, at least we can get a longer chain now. I really wish I didn't try to rush this. Really, really wish I didn't try to rush it, because I could have done this. We should have done this. Oh well. Well, I mean, it was any parts of this that we can get back is basically free money, so. Was it? It crashed during re-entry testing, Josh, and it basically I rage quit and I left and I let it crash into the ground, because this thing is it does really well subsonic. It's very stable. It landed. I actually landed it out here because chat wanted me to, and I was trying to get it back so I could get back some of these expensive pieces like the vectors. There was 100K worth of shuttle out here, and when I docked to it, it Kraken struck and it exploded. And it exploded, which sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, the chassis is still okay. The fuel tanks are toast, though. This was 7, yeah. No, this was 8. 7's the one that's up there. And we still have pieces. Like, I just gotta... Anyway, I gotta get going for racing, guys. Freaking helicopter. Alright, we're gonna have to send some people out to grab these guys, which is annoying, but it's alright. I could have done this, man. I should have been paying attention more. Yeah, Broca, you know, maybe if I wasn't talking about stupid VTOLs and other VTOLs aside from this and focusing on the mission, it probably would have gone better. But, you know, the second I try to go in to do this, people ask me questions, man, and it's hard to balance doing the mission and answering all these questions about, you know, helicopters and all that other stuff. It's tough to do two at the same time. I usually can get it done, but we didn't lose Kerbals, but I did lose some cash, man, which sucks. Dude, the helicopter blades absolutely need to be doing this right now. Seriously, do they have to be doing that? If I take damping out, I'm trying to get this thing to not drift on the ground. So it just kind of stays put, but it doesn't want to. But I don't want to deploy the landing gear either. Maybe just the front landing gear. Maybe that'll do it. It looks like some of these parts are rolling down a hill. But the double eclipse was a sign. Yeah, is it still going? Let me see. Nope. Nope, it's passed. This blows. We should be carrying this thing back right now. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do racing now, guys. We'll get back to Kerbal tomorrow. I'll finish that up. Unless there's some crazy space news tomorrow, dudes, what I'm probably gonna do is we'll go with the shorter space news because I need to rescue them and start picking up the pieces from the blown up SSTO, and then we're gonna go get 7. I need a victory, or I want a victory from this, dudes, because yeah, that was a little bit of a. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little annoying. I should have gotten that, man. Should have gotten it, dude. But then again, I should have picked it up the same way that I tested. So that's on me. If I picked it up the same way I picked up the tank, then we probably would have been okay. But yeah, it is what it is. But then again, the tank was touching the ground with I-beams, so maybe we wouldn't have. Who knows? Okay, that's gonna do it for me, guys. For Kerbal, I'm going to do a 2.5-hour endurance race now.